3, 2, 1.
That's the new start. So yeah, welcome to another edition of the Top Flight Show. So this week we are looking at the Battersea Park Chase the Sun event that was last week and looking ahead to the Quayside 5K next week. So yeah, welcome to the team again. So we've got Rich back. And Jasmine and Cameron.
Good to be back.
He needs more of an intro.
Why?
The bad boy of British athletics.
What do you mean?
What do you want me? We've just been talking about your criminal record.
Everyone's going to think I've got one. Oh, jeez.
So he doesn't have one, honest.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice for Cameron to make it this time though. After his car broke down, midstream.
Left me high and dry. The phone call came in at 10 to 6. Oh, Rich, I'm not going to make it. The car's broke down. Then followed by a video call of him showing me his engine and some pipes, and I'm thinking, what am I looking at here?
He called you before the AA.
Yeah,
I actually did.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
should be
filled with
flattered.
confidence, but I'm not your man.
Priority. Well, you did a sterling
Oh,
job.
thanks, Chris.
On
Thank you
your
very
own.
much for
I
that.
was loving it. I was sat in the car. I watched the whole thing, didn't I? We watched
Yeah.
it. I watched
Yeah,
it.
good.
For
I'm glad
2.5
he's
hours,
enjoyed
he
it.
was out there.
It was great form. Like,
Yeah.
I think other than having like the second person there, it was definitely our best effort yet on the live stream. It was class. So yeah, the pictures look brilliant. We had the second stream going in the top corner. So he's just about nailed that now. We need to just keep building on that one. Trying to still work on weaving in the split times and other things coming up. But yeah, there's lots of moving parts that we keep working on. But yeah, it was really good. Enjoyed the commentary. It was fantastic. So yeah, well done.
And we've said it on commentary before, haven't we, Cam? But like, if people are listening in and watching, and there's things that you think we can do better, without slating us too much, by all means, like, you know, drop a message in through any of the social media. Even like little things about, we were talking about the way that the screens are structured and we have the split screen. We were saying, oh, do we need that one a little bit bigger? Or do we have the clock in the corner a little bit smaller? If anyone has any suggestions or anything like that, don't be shy.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, there was a lot more interaction on this one.
Because you weren't there.
Yeah, because I was sat there on my phone like, this person's here, check out this person, like, well done Red, can you let us know this information?
Yeah.
But no, there was a few people who were messaging, like, and I thought it was, it was a lot more.
I couldn't see that.
Oh, well, that's something we can look at next time.
Something
To be fair, we did have one comment, and I said I'd pass it on to the race director, Chris Parr. Obviously, this man was running. I'll get onto that soon. But this man was racing, so I couldn't ask him there and then. And obviously, I was sat at the side of the A road, waiting for the A. So one of them said, can they have a pre-race start list posted at some point, so they can look at it.
Yeah, so we can work on that.
Or
So
can you
obviously,
maybe Instagram or something and put like on like a picture on the like as like a story and
yeah,
say, like,
we have got a
text next
lead
to who's here.
entries post that has gone out for some of them, but yeah, it's definitely something we can work on. We had that in the race information, so yeah, it's something we can put on.
Just thought I'd pass the message on to your number one fan.
Yeah, I mean we
Or
did
Richard's
have.
number one fan.
Yeah, we did have the graphics that we can pull on, not the screen, but there is so many moving parts. But yeah, we could definitely post that on Instagram. And there's lots of chopping and changing before the start, so we don't want to like say all these people are definitely running and then them not turn up. So that's always like a little bit of a factor.
Yeah.
But what we used at the track race at Jarrow was open track, which is a different system. And that does work with our chip timing as well, but it's like another moving part that I didn't want to like overcomplicate for this event. We're going to use that again on the Gateshead track races, so we get used to like how it actually integrates with the software that we're using, so we can pull the graphics off, make sure that somebody can do it, and then hopefully we can get the top flight races on that. So it means when people have registered and signed in on the day, we can update that and it'll automatically pull through onto the screen. And also means when they go through the chip mats, it should automatically generate a graphic that's like user friendly, because we've tried by using the browser ones and stuff and it doesn't come up very clean, but that should work. It's just like an additional step that it's one to work on, but I need a bit of time to like delve into it and test it.
Some run though.
It's coming.
Yes.
For the last race, since we're on there. What about that for a sprint finish?
Yeah, it was
from
absolutely
Jonathan
class.
Escalante Phillips, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, you were going wild on the mic. I'm not surprised. I was sat there like, what is going on here?
Most
Like,
exciting thing I've ever seen.
I couldn't believe it. I thought he was done.
I thought Manthorpe
Like,
just
he
ran it out of him
yeah.
straight away. I was like, there you go, Manthorpe sat for the whole bit. And he did. He looked easy, but then...
The thing is, right, Escalante Phillips pulled up onto his shoulder And Manthorpe just responded and started to pull away. And
Yeah,
I
you thought he
thought,
was
it's
winding
always a
up,
sign
yeah.
that when someone's made a move and then you start pulling away from them with like 300, 400 metres to go, I thought, done deal this, he's going to
Yeah.
storm on. And he stole a couple of metres. Then the next thing, these green split shorts started to edge out, and I thought, he's not done yet. And the arms started going. The form was, he looked like he was running 200 metres flat out.
It's
He
mad,
was
isn't it?
absolutely bombing that last 200 metres. And, I thought he was done. And he romped it. And, it was a great finish. And then we were on about him earlier on. He ran another 5K on the Friday or Saturday night and won that as well. So he's a man in form. And I'm sure he'll get mentioned later on in this show as well.
Yeah, and actually he got mentioned in quite a few of the podcasts because he had strong intentions to run in Newcastle, for example, and a few others, and then it had quite a few injury niggles. And I remember we mentioned that he'd ran in the Ibiza 10K. And if you remember, we're like joking on about that one. So he only contacted through the week, like earlier on in the week, saying, "Oh yeah, I can actually get there last minute. Can I still get a place in the race?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously." And then shows up and wins it. So it was.
There was a group
fantastic
of
to
them.
see. It was a good race. It was a shame that Sefu dropped out because he's been in really good form.
He didn't drop out though.
No, Sefu dropped out after the first
Sefu
lap.
Jamal?
Yeah, he did.
I seen him in the results.
Yeah, the results had come up wrong. I think he must have continued through afterwards and picked up his timing.
So
but
I did think that, and then I seen him in the results, and I was like, actually, I've got this wrong here, and I've just probably insulted him that he's had a really bad run. But there was a group of them that got away and started, like Jack Miller, Sam Hart were in there, and Jack Miller really pushed on a lot of the early pace and sort of made the race for the others in that front pack. And it was a class race to watch, to be honest. And same with the women's race. I was impressed in a totally different way with how that one played out.
Yeah, it was good to have the second stream following the ladies are trying to pick them out. It is really difficult. People don't give this the filming as much credit as it deserves because it's really hard to ride along.
It's niche
the
as
runners
well.
out.
We've got the bollards in Battersea Park.
And you're trying to avoid the public.
Yeah.
You're trying to get involved in the runners as well whilst recording over your shoulder. So Kaylin from our team did like a fab job.
Yeah.
Picking them up, but I was observing the women's race for the first half because I was just about. Kaylin was my reference because I could see he was videoing the ladies. So I was behind through the first half and then came past. I was like, yes, my targets have been met.
Just about.
Yeah,
but she looked like she was being. I mean, we knew she's a great athlete. She's an international athlete. She's run for Great Britain over the cross country before, so we knew she was a great athlete. But to knock. How much? It was over a minute, wasn't it? Over her season's best.
Off season's best.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were like, is that Jess Gibbons? And it took a while because the screen, with the split screen being slightly too small, not too small, but smaller. So it was hard to initially get work out who it was. But to knock that much off, it's like
it was just it was totally different to how the men's race panned out. It was just a strong, solid showing from the off. Just got out there and. For any time I looked at that second screen to commentate on it, she was just there on the front, and that was from early on in the race. So she just got out there and ran hard, and I was impressed at how much she knocked off her season's best. I think it was like 17:13 before that, then running 16:05 just outside of her PB. Yeah. I thought I was really impressed. I thought it was a phenomenal run.
I mean, she was being tracked for a while, wasn't she, by Louise Small?
Yeah.
But it looks like she's not. I didn't see her on the finishing list, so I'm not sure if she maybe dropped out. But
I don't think she finished as well.
Yeah, okay. And she, I mean, I remember watching her until about must have been 800 to go, and she was in a group of guys amongst all the men, just her on her own, and then literally 800 meters, 1K to go, she just boom gone. She literally took away from the rest and was just running on her own for the last part. And was just firing through the field.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was great conditions for it, and she stuck in
no
and
doubt
ran
that
really
she
well.
probably. I mean, when you have a season's best of say 17 minutes, I mean, she probably went into the race thinking, well, maybe I'm in great shape, but she probably knew she was in good shape. But there is always that thing of precaution of because if you've run a minute slower than that, then you're going into the race with that knowledge of that. So next time, if she comes out again, we could expect to find a lot quicker to come.
Like on
she's got that confidence.
On PBs, we obviously looked at her in the field and thought, oh well, very strong PB. But when it was we also looked at season's best, and we've mentioned so many times that we don't necessarily just base who we think is going to be right up there on their PBs because it's not always reflective of current form.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
definitely one who's returned to form. But then we have also said that like people who have got some level of like class and a very, very strong PB, they can jump back to that a lot. It's a lot easier to get back towards that than it was to get there in the first place. So these
Case
people
in point.
I don't know if I've got 2 minutes to take off in my next race, but
you never
it's
know.
in there somewhere.
You're getting there. But I thought all three of the leading female athletes, Amy Clements and Yvette Locke in third, I thought they all had great runs. It was a class event.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think it was a perfect night for racing. It looked great. I mean, you were down there, so you'll know better than me. But it looked great on the stream. The weather was spot on, and people just got out and got after it. And that's what these are about.
I think it's good as well that these top athletes are using these kind of races to like show their current form or improve on their current form as well.
Yeah. You can't hide in a race that's geared towards running quick as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're up at the front, you're obviously in good shape, and we know that we're getting quality field, so you're going to have to be quick. If you're further back in the race, you're going to be getting pulled along. So there's no hiding in these races, but you don't want to hide when you're looking for a quick time.
It definitely went
There's a reel for you. There's a reel for you.
Yeah, that's stripped down there.
Yeah, they definitely went off really hard because I actually set off because I was trying to be like conservative. I ran at the back and I was last through the first K, and I looked down and I was on like 3:02.
What?
And to run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to look at. I wanted to go through and run like 3:10s.
Yeah.
Because that's 15:50 and I'd said 16 minutes, so just to be safe. So when I looked down on 3:02, firstly I was like, off you, because I actually felt all right at that, so I knew I was going to run like 15:50 by backing off. But yeah, everybody was in front of me, and then I was steadily going through the field, even though I was then running at like 3:10s, 3:11s the rest of the way. So yeah, everybody did go out hard.
Yeah.
And then you would have had a lot of people hanging.
That opening bit at Battersea, and it's the closing bit as well. That's where you get all the crowds as well. So I feel like you can really just get carried along.
Yeah, sell out as well for the main Chase the Sun events that we had. I can't remember what the numbers were, but we'd already closed the entries because it was a total sellout. Yeah. So yeah, that was great because you've got well in excess of 1,000 people along the sides making a great deal of noise to show people along. So yeah, that was very good and really enjoyed it.
Another successful event.
Yeah, another successful event. And another few who have picked up additional points in the overall series. So I think on the men's side now, we've got three in the top three in the overall series ranking. So Jason Bennett, Sam Gabri-Selassie, Paul Howard have all got like 3 and 2 events. There's another 4 people now on the men's side who've got 2 events but who aren't in the top 10 on the series rankings because the guys who've won have got like 25 points. So they haven't picked up them big points, but it means they're one more race away from triggering the overall series.
There you go.
So you are going to start seeing in the next 1 or 2 races a few more people triggering those overall series points. What we really need is some of the ladies to re-enter and do the second and third events, because at the moment we've only got Cara Mackenzie-Tate who's done 2 races.
Yeah.
So hopefully after the Quayside we've got a few more who've picked up the additional points, and we know we'll get a big turnout at Ribble Valley because there always is. And then geographically we've got, Quayside means people who've already done Newcastle and they might do Jarrow, so there's a few geographical reasons why you might pick up 2 or 3. So there's quite a few who've got 2 who are from the northwest because they've done Aintree and Jubilee Bridge, or a few others in the northwest. Warrington coming up means they'll get that. Another few on 2 who there's Fulham 10K coming up. So yeah, we should hopefully get a strong amount. But this season the door's wide open basically. If you do 3 strong performances, you're probably going to end up in the money at this rate. Whereas next year it's going to be more difficult because every event we're doing, the fields are getting stronger. It's going to become harder to pick up points across the whole series. So,
I think as well as we go into the winter, more and more athletes are going to be doing those road races, 10K, half marathon. So I think the turnouts are just going to naturally increase anyway, like they already are. Yeah,
I think you're right. Towards the end of the year, you're going to get like a bigger push, and like you said, geographically as well with the Quayside coming up in the summer. We had a good turnout in Newcastle, then you've got Jarrow, then Ribble Valley's just a massive race anyway, so yeah, I think you're right, should kick on towards the end of the year, definitely.
Yeah, and more people are just engaging with the series overall. I think the Battersea live stream there was nearly 2,000 people have viewed it.
Yeah, I mean, during the
got-
race, it did go up to like over 140 at one point, I think, from what I was watching.
Yeah, while you were watching, and
While I
then
was
and then
watching it.
people watch it afterwards because they
Yeah.
don't necessarily
So you
watch it
know
live.
what?
The
The
way nearly
original
2000.
stream as well had like 700 on after within the first few hours, but we had to take it down to edit it slightly and then put it back on and then start on 0 again. So
Okay, so it was possibly quite a lot higher.
yeah,
than that.
yeah, definitely.
And then about 4,000 following now on the social media. So it just means when we get to January and we get to Newcastle 10K again, it won't be starting from scratch where people are like going, oh, well, what is this series all about? We're starting from like a much higher position. So yeah, I expect next year the quality's been exceptionally high at the front of all these events, right? So that's going to get more strength and depth. But yeah, the number of people in those like in the minor places, the volume and the strength and depth competition is only going to go up.
Can't wait to get some dividends from my shares in the top flight series.
I think we need it, yeah.
But I was actually having a stalk down the Top Flight page, and one of the videos from Newcastle, I think it was with one of the guys at the front. It's got like 23 million views now.
Yeah, it's mental, that one.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
One of the reels from Newcastle 10K. It's got
That's
like
it?
23 million views,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
the...
I mean, come on it.
I don't think so.
No,
Oh.
I think this is...
That's why it
is
got
this
23
Dennis?
million.
This is Dennis running when he's like, what's like butter.
Dennis.
Yeah, it is. And his
Dennis
stride
Butter.
is just
Butter.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
his stride looks
That's-
absolutely phenomenal.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
You've
He
got to-
did look. I'm probably one of them 23 million.
Yeah.
views.
You've
All
got,
of
You're all of
3
them.
million.
It's on the base.
2.9.
yeah, you've got to put your notifications off, otherwise it just goes...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you've made it when people are stealing your reels and rehashing it and classing it as their own. I've
start
DM'd a few of
invoicing
them.
for that,
like,
yeah.
Have you? Is it ones of me and Cam?
Yeah, I think it's your
Yeah.
fake meme account.
Yeah.
So yeah, Battersea, another fantastic success, and then roll on to the next one, which is again absolutely loaded. It's the 10th anniversary of the Quayside 5K, so it's
10 years already.
I know, it's unreal. This so basically.
God, as if you were 50 when you first started.
I know. So 2014, we had 180 roughly runners in this race, all in one race, and it's because Gateshead Harriers hadn't had a race for absolutely years on the roads. So I was just determined to get it on with the help of the club. There's lots of people, some who are ever present and have marshalled right the way through or worked on the registration. So massive thanks to them. And in that 10-year period, it very quickly became established as the best 5K in the Northeast. And then it's just gradually spiraled from there. We've always had like a very super elite field at the front. There's always been an international winning in the men's and international winner on the men's and women's side. A lot of them local international, but others who've come from outside of the area. And then this year we went to having one in spring, which we teamed up with Wallsend Harriers, and then we're back to the Gateshead Harriers edition, this time including top flight, so taking it to the next level again. The junior 3K is also the Northeastern Counties Championships, so they'll get under 13s, 15s, 17s, they'll get their top 3 medals, so it's just turned into an even bigger event. We're getting towards 1,000 runners on the night now. Absolutely unreal. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's contributed, and it's still getting bigger and better, which is fantastic, and that's obviously where top flight is coming in.
I feel as if the Quayside 5K is it's almost like the home of, it almost feels like the home of the top flight
I know what
series.
you
know
mean.
what I mean?
Know
Like,
exactly what you mean.
It's like, it's the OG, isn't it? Like, because that's your baby, that's the one you started. Like, I remember sitting
it's
having
the
a sausage
blueprint.
shiny after an LD crew training session back in, when was this? This must have been like 2018-ish.
Must have been a while ago.
2017-ish.
Didn't you?
Well, this is another time you dragged me into Marshall. I turned up to watch for a night. I thought, I'll go down and watch the Quayside 5K. Literally arrived. Next thing, someone's put a bloody high vis and vest in front of my face. I looked round. It's Chris Barr. Can you do a bit of marshing for me? I said, fine, I will then.
Did he pay you?
No, I did it for free.
Everyone else is
Give it
on the
back to the
payroll apart
community.
from Cam.
No, to be fair, this is
Community
He didn't
service
get a
probably with
choice.
his track record.
I didn't get a choice. Huh?
this has always been the Gateshead Harriers.
So I'm not
event
turning
as
up
well.
to any more events in again in the future. It took me a good while to build the confidence back up to go back. I remember then you were telling me about it, saying that you were just trying to get something sorted because we were lacking events in the Northeast, and look what's happened now. It's blown up and it's getting bigger with the rest of the top flight series. So All credit to you, Barzy.
Do you
mate,
feel like
honestly.
you're a bit of a face on the athletic scene now?
He's a Don. He's a B-knock, isn't he? Big name on campus.
Big name on campus. No,
B-knock.
Everyone knows who Chris Parr is.
I've never heard that B-knock.
B-knock, neither have I. I think I'm going to start using it now.
It's university.
I don't even think you need to go by Barzy, just B-knock. That's really tickled me, that. That's really tickled me. B-knock.
I've gone through phases now. It was like Chris Pye's the runner. Then it was like Ben Manpar, the 100 mile champ. And now it's like, that guy who used to race and now organises races. So I've transcended now.
What's
But
next? What's
still
next,
racing.
Barzy? What's next?
P-knock.
Agent.
Brilliant.
Agent, nah. No, we'll just keep putting on stronger races. But yeah, thanks for
That's
marshalling
going to
on
be your
that
Instagram name now, Chris. The B-knock Parr.
Just B-knock.
I
Chris
don't know.
B-knock.
Just
Just
B-knock.
on it.
Change your
B-knock.
Instagram name
With a
to
blue
just B-knock.
tick.
B-N-O-C.
BNOC.
Or do you want to start full stops in between or not?
Your inbox is going to be, like, people
Fire.
are going to be sliding in it, just B-knock, B-knock.
B-knock where you are.
Could be worse.
B-knock here on the radio. B-knock just need a finish.
No, that when I got you to, I was panicking that night because I think especially during, it might have been the first one after COVID, but people got into the habit of like going out walking on the quayside. So it used to be, it's obviously like a fairly busy area,
Yeah.
but after COVID, people were used to going out and doing like walks or runs on the quayside, and all the bars got themselves like a garden area, so it backs on. So if it's it's like a summer night, if it's nice weather, all these bars have now got beer gardens. They're full. People are just smashed from like
Well, it needs more
6 o'clock.
spectators, doesn't it?
Yeah, but just managing that, we call it the gauntlet. So you've got
gauntlet.
enough marshals, but you need like, I just go with high vis along the start line. If
One
it's
for you,
busy,
one
I
for
just
you,
give
one
it
for
out to
you.
anybody who I see, because you just need to try and manage it so people aren't just like wandering onto the course, because as soon as them runners, it's an out and back course, so they go and people think that's it, but they come back very, very quickly, especially these guys and girls.
Yeah, like you said, it's a public area, isn't it? So
Yeah.
runners are flying down at sub 14 pace. You don't want to get hit by one of them.
No. And on that note of guys and girls,
Yeah, so let's
get into. Should we
let's-
do
who
the
it
Yeah.
is.
Into who we-
should we do the elite
Yeah.
ladies first? I reckon.
Yeah, let's have a look at the elite ladies field. So we've had like quite a few course records in the Quayside 5K, especially I guess since the turn of the SportsShoes. But because every year the field's got a bit deeper, every time you've had to win it in a course record, and that included the April one where Stacey Smith ran 16:07, and last year Heather Townsend won in 16:19. So we've got the last two winners and the last two course record holders are back in the race.
So 16:07's the course record.
16:07's the course record. The course record bonus is paid out on 15:45 because, like we've discussed before, that it's in line with everything else in the rest of the series. And also you got to contrast that against the men's record, which is 13:46.
Yeah, that's rapid,
So
isn't it?
they've got to be some sort of balance. The course record bonus 15:30. The top flight additional money is paid out on 15:45.
Yeah, the thing is though, even that being said, and I know we're putting up that time on a pedestal. I think we've got 3 athletes that around
least.
about that time.
Yeah, at
on
least.
on paper, like PB wise, they're around about the 15:44. Well, we'll kick it off. Lily Partridge.
Yeah.
It's our quickest 15:44 PB, 2:25 marathon.
Well, her 10K, 31:29,
Yeah.
that's actually, 15:44 basically.
Yeah,
twice.
absolutely unreal.
So
Exactly,
you
yeah.
would think that if she's in that 31:29 kind of shape, 15:44, really it should be
Yeah.
lower than that.
I'd seen a result from a. Sorry. Cut you off there, didn't I? I probably cut you off, sorry. I seen a result from her though, like in June time, 32:30.
Yeah.
So like a bit down on that 31:30, but then that's not a million miles away when
No.
you don't know how the race has panned out. You might have just turned up and thought, all I want to do was win here,
Yeah.
sitting or whatever. And even then, 32:30 for 10K is still rapid. So
Yeah.
she's gonna be in shape to get around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Go on.
would think so. And yeah,
You can carry on,
Sorry.
Barzy.
when you were saying there,
Carry on,
that-
B-knock.
So yeah, 10K this summer does indicate obviously that she's
Yeah.
very, very capable of hitting a PB and actually
Absolutely.
hitting those other bonuses. So we had Nina won in Battersea in 15:34, Amy Eloise in 15:30.
Yeah.
So there is an additional bonus paid out at 15:30. and a 15:15 is also maybe, like, that is within Lily probably as well.
Yeah.
15:15 would be the big one.
How much would you get for that then?
Well, that would also be the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not quite the UK lead because Callie Thackeray's ran a bit faster
Yeah.
than Abby
Yeah,
Donnelly's
she's
previous
pretty
one now.
quick.
Yeah.
But under 15:15 would be 1,150.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad.
Yeah.
15 minutes of running, come away with that.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's doable on a course like this, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So if she was capable of running faster than Callie,
And
then
the men's race as well.
that
like
would be
I said the
13:50.
men's race, but like the mixed race, should I say, with the men, then it's more than capable.
Yeah,
It's
so
more
she's
than
going to
capable
be in
of
good.
doing it.
This
It's a
race
good time
Yeah.
to do it.
is the best strength and depth race that we've got at the 5K. So there's going to be a cohort, and
Yeah.
you just got to get on the train. So yeah, it's going to be a good one to watch. She's not the only one in there though, because
I know.
1 second outside that on PBs is Poppy Tank.
Yeah.
So last year's UK champ at the 3K chase. So another Great Britain international
Yeah.
coming up the road.
Strong runner as well. To do the steeplechase, you've got to be quite strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough event that.
I mean, even then, 6 seconds behind that, and I mean, 6 seconds on the roads ain't much. I don't think personally.
No.
I get it. Like, it kind of, yeah. I don't think 6 seconds is a lot,
Well,
especially when.
1 second for Poppy, 6 seconds for Stacey.
That's what
Smith.
I was about to
So,
get
yeah.
onto. Yeah, so 6 seconds to Stacey. And I mean, as the reason to say 6 seconds isn't a lot is that she's improving month on month. Like,
Day by day.
She's improving a lot.
Stacey is in good shape.
So she's although 6 seconds might seem like a lot to some people. I mean, it ain't a lot because she's gonna keep. I think she'll keep lowering that a little bit more every time, and she's getting better month on month. And I think, I mean, if you look in terms of like speed at the end of a race, Stacey's pretty quick. So she'll be that, and
Well,
she's
she
tough.
knows the course as
She's a
well.
tough cookie
She
as
knows
well.
the
She won't give
course.
up easy. Trust me. So
She knows
yeah.
the course. She trains with myself and like quite a few of the other lads. She's not afraid to get mixed in the
Yeah.
men's race, even if it's group and a bit physical, like, as it happens if it's in like big group races. She's not going to be fazed by that at all. It's going to be a class race, I think,
Really
between them.
interesting to watch, yeah.
If them three are on form, we could see some fireworks.
Absolutely.
And I think like tactically, so it's an out and back course. You're gonna get sheltered, but because it's so fast from the gun
Yeah.
and you've got the men in there, I think the tactics are sort of out the window for the ladies. You could probably
Yeah.
comment a bit more there, but I think it's going to be a case of you just get in there. They'll be aware of the other girls around them.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be. It's not the same dynamic as if it was a separate
Yeah.
women's race and we're sitting as a group of three. This is going to be judging your effort, making sure that you haven't gone off too hard in the first half, and then it's going to be interesting between them three.
It's what we've seen from Jessica Gibbons the other night at Battersea Park. There was the tactics didn't need to be employed, just got out there, ran hard, and it was just
It's what you
mixed
want,
in
though,
with
like-
athletes
Yeah.
around.
I think when you're in like a mixed in race, and you don't, as a woman, you don't really get too many opportunities to do road races where you're mixed in with the guys.
Right.
You really want to utilise
Yeah.
that and like kind of, because it's 5K, it's middle distance, but it's not like 10K.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where it's like you can really work your way up. Like you've only got 5K to do it. So it could be one of those things where it's like just see how long you can hold on for.
Yeah.
Really. You might surprise yourself.
Yeah,
That's why we.
I
That's
think
why.
I think it's going to be fantastic. We've got a few another few locals who've been running well. So like Philippa Stone from Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough Mandale 16:10 this year. We've got Millie McNice, who's done a few of our races this season already. So and she has run the Quayside before as well. So yeah, we've got another fantastic turnout. And fingers crossed, Sonia Samuels. I spoke to her today. She's waiting to see if she can get the nod to run, because obviously she won at Nantwich.
Yeah.
She is local to here, so it would be nice if we
so
can
well
persuade her to come up
Yeah.
and pick up some extra points. And Shona Heaslip as well is tempted. Obviously, she would be coming across from Ireland as a midweek. She's looking into it, especially seeing how strong the field was. So again, it would be brilliant to have her across and involved as well. So yeah, it could be that when we actually get to the race, it could be even stronger. So at
Yeah.
the time of recording, we're just over a week away from the event. We're still getting some entries and interest coming in. So when they see the reels from this, no doubt I'll get a few late entries saying I want to be in.
Enter the Quayside Park.
Last year's as well. Last year's champion. It's back, isn't she? Or is she?
Heather.
Heather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I skipped her. Sorry when I went down there. So Heather,
she's
obviously,
back.
obviously won last
winning.
year. Yeah, experience of winning, knows the race, knows how to judge it, and yeah, is a very strong athlete. So we've got quite a few of the ladies here have got marathon backgrounds. So Heather Townsend, Lily.
I think Heather's actually training for a marathon at the moment, I think.
So I mean, she's going to be very
That's
strong.
great, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want strength if you want to run in a fast race. It's about being able to maintain how fast can you run and maintain that pace for.
Yeah.
And having a marathon background definitely helps. I'd say if you're deciding you're going to sort of train for 5k, 10k through the summer or whatever, then I think you're going to be in good stead if you toe the line in here anyway.
Yeah. So another few just to give a few name drops. So ladies who should be in around the 16:30 to 17 minute mark. We've got Indira Patel from Shaftesbury Barnet, Eliane and Dvergstal from, I think that's an Irish club, is it, Farner? And Shona Haston from Gateshead, who's local and being in good form. Cara Mackenzie Tate, who is returning after picking up points in Newcastle. And Nantwich.
Yeah.
So this
She's
would
sixth in Newcastle.
So yeah, if she is on the start line and the finish line, as long as she's at the finish line, she will have triggered the 3 points, so that'll put her on the top of the ladies standing. And Rebecca Robinson, so another Great Britain international, who's a regular at our events in the Northeast. So big shout out to Rebecca for continuing to support us. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how that one pans out. We will try and pick them up as best as possible. So we're going to have a second camera, it'll just be handheld, because it's tight on the course. It's just not safe or possible to put a second bike on that course.
Yeah,
it's just not possible,
didn't we?
Yeah, we can't do it, but we can have somebody with a handheld camera
Yeah.
to try and catch at a few points to try and pick out the times, and we're going to try again with the split times and feed that back to the studio.
Yeah.
Tell you what would have
So
been
we
ideal.
should be able to pick them out.
Beanock running,
Yeah.
returning for another race, GoPro on his chest, following the lead female group.
No, one of
'Cause
those
that was
360 cameras.
that would have been
runs
that's
like
another
that.
step forward from last time.
Yeah,
because
I
the
don't know if
time's
I
still
could-
winning.
Yeah, I don't know if I could actually do that with the liner that we've got.
Yeah, the
It might be-
panting would be like.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a stretch. But anyway, let's crack on with the men's.
I mean, where do we start with this lineup then?
Where do we start?
So let's start with the course record holder, the Top Flight Series record holder, because he's in good form.
He is
and he's
in good
local.
form.
He's
Mr.
a Morpeth
Beattie.
boy.
Yeah.
Big man. He's returning.
Yeah, so Scott
Mr.
has been a
Beattie.
poster boy for the Top Flight Series, really, because we had something. He did us a massive favour last year by winning this race in 13:46 gun time. It was an unbelievable performance, class race. We had lots of media off it that we used in all the first races to promote the races, and I guess we used that as a standard bearer as well of like what we wanted each race to achieve. And yeah, it's fantastic that Scott is back. And
I
he's
like
in
that.
great-
The
he's in
way,
great
like,
form.
obviously he's kicked on. His career's kicked on. He's senior international now. He's competing in Diamond Leagues.
Yep.
7:42 3k Diamond League the other week. 3:39 1500 recently. But he's still
great
coming back to the Quayside 5k.
Yeah.
And it's a race for him, and he's going to get reward from it. His face is going to get out there. He might get a quick time, financial gain.
Might get over $1,000 if he breaks his course record.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's also a little bit about like a local athlete giving a bit back to the sport in his area and supporting it. Because it's easy when you can get up in the upper echelons of the sport to be like, I'm not going to go do a local 5k. But he's given his time. So I think it's credit to him as an athlete that he's supporting events like that as well. I think it's class.
Definitely. It's massively appreciated. Like you said, the financial carrot dangling is great, but that's not actually the motivation for Scott. I was speaking to him this week. He wants to run this race because he really enjoyed it last time, and it's not often that his family can come and see him race because he's been globetrotting.
Yeah.
He's been to America for quite a few years. It's not often that you've got like a fairly high profile race on your doorstep that your friends and family can come down and watch.
Yeah.
So he wants to do it because he wants to be able to share that with his family. So yeah, fingers crossed that Scott can do the business again, but he's not going to have it all his own way.
No, definitely not. I mean, there's a few we can pick from here, but I mean, Ben Connor.
Nice to see Ben back, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
Long time out of injury.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know exactly where he's at, but you know, we know what kind of a a quality athlete he is.
Yeah, he's an animal, isn't he?
2:11 marathon man.
Multiple
13,
time
19.
British cross country champion.
Yeah.
I mean that in itself.
Strong, tough runner. So if he's on form, he's gonna make it hard work for Scott.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, so both Scott and Ben have got 13-19 PB. Scott's obviously in sensational form at the minute. Ben has had various issues with some illness, injuries. I think he's said to me that he'd found it tough. Obviously, if you've come off the back of doing fantastic performances in the marathon, but then not necessarily getting picked for all the championships, and it can be really tough. So I think, he's in a bit of a transition training-wise, getting back into it. But as we've said previously, when athletes like Ben Connor enter the race, it's because deep down they've got a gut instinct that they're on the way back.
Yeah.
He said the same about Sam Stabler, and he didn't quite fire on all cylinders at entry, but he then went and fired on all cylinders very shortly afterwards. So Ben could, with the inspiration of the event that's going on around him, he could just pull one out of the bag. He just cannot discount somebody of that level of quality.
100%.
So Ben is going to be right up there, and again, it is fantastic to see him back on the start line because he's been such a regular in a British Fest and on the national scene for so long. We've also got our winner from Battersea.
Mr. Escalante Phillips.
Yeah.
What a kick.
What a kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got your vocal cords going, didn't it?
I know. Had to get a few
I could
packets of
hear them. Ding,
strepsils
ding,
on the
ding,
way
ding.
home.
Hey?
Had to get a few packets of strepsils on the way home.
Lozenges.
I was absolutely toast after it. Yeah. You know, we mentioned him earlier on. Class finish of the race. It's going to be a different type of race, I think, than the way Battersea panned out. I think it'll probably. I'd imagine it's going to be. I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit hotter at the front, but he's won 2 races in the space of 3 or 4 days, and he's going to have confidence from that, and he's probably going to get on the pace and just see where it takes him. He's travelling a fair distance to come run this one though as well. So, he might, when you're finishing a race with that kind of pace, that kind of kick, and you're running 14 minutes, if it's getting strung out, he's gonna be sub 14 minutes. It's in the locker. It's just 100%. How quick can he go?
Yeah, he's going to be riding the crest of a wave. I guess we've just got to hope for like good conditions, because if it's not a windy night, or usually it's a following wind on the way back, with it being along the river. If he's on, if he doesn't go too hard in the first half, he's gonna obviously have a fantastic run. And he's already got this sprint finish. Yeah. Speaking of sprint finishes, though, just thinking of how the race went last year, Scott Beattie followed. There was 2 Kenyan athletes in the race with him, and he followed and then absolutely battered it in the last 800 metres. So Scott's going to be hard to beat anyway that the race has run. Ben Connor is going to be, you would think, if he's going well, would try and test the water from a bit further out.
Yeah.
Jonathan Escalante Phillips, we've known that he's stepped up to do half marathons, so you would have thought he was strength guy, but then he's just gone and shown that he's got a massive sprint finish as well. So even, Scott can't rest on his laurels. You've got some very strong runners and people who are showing that they've got a really strong sprint finish. Can't count these guys out.
Yeah.
And then, looking slightly down, I mean, you say down the field, not to be any disrespectful here, because the field is absolutely loaded. We've got Luca Minali, who's been in the European Under 23 steeplechase final this year. Yeah. So 14:07 that he's ran this year. Carl Avery 14:02. Luca Minali as well, 3:46 1500 this year. So again, another one who can sprint finish. Avery more of a strong man. Sam Gabri-Selassie, if he comes up here to run, has been PBing on the shorter distances.
Joint top of the leaderboard as well with who? Who else?
Oh, Big Bad Bennett.
Yeah. Training partners, aren't they?
No, not training partners. We'd mixed that one up. But so Sam's PB's 14:08, but he's been running really well on the track. I think 8:12.
8:12, 3K.
At Tooting Beck at that.
Yeah, and the mile, he's running a PB over the mile as well. So he's in shape. So we'd expect a good performance from him if he comes up.
Yeah. So earlier on in the year, he had said that he was going to focus on the track and might come back to some of the series races later, but was entered. So fingers crossed he comes up and gets involved, because he's obviously in fantastic form. Hopefully we see him tick off that third race, because he's sitting top of the lead, joint top, but with just 2 races. So once he gets one more in, he's going to be sitting pretty at the top and pretty hard to beat. Coming a little bit further down the field to some of the more local runners, Chris Coulson won the North East 5K champs with a massive PB just 2 weeks ago at Sunderland. So he is in great shape.
Bruni's back as well.
Doug Musson as well.
Yeah, so Doug
potentially returning.
Again, let's hope that. So Doug
picked up points at Warwick, didn't he?
Yeah.
So won the race at Warwick over the half marathon.
Are you going to bring
He's based in the North East.
It's for him.
We've had no response. I'm guessing he's not interested, is he? He's not interested. He doesn't want the Palmer.
Whatever. If you're not bothered,
that's an insult, though. If you
Doug.
live in Gooseberry and you don't have the Palmer.
Yeah,
it is an insult, isn't it? To the culture.
I haven't told my mate Dom Shaw down there. He would not be.
He wouldn't. Dom Shaw would not be
writing. He'd be straight writing up a paragraph in the Gazette about that.
So I haven't seen much of Doug racing like super recently, but obviously he was in great shape in Warwick. Won that convincingly. 14:02 PB, is based in Middlesbrough. So yeah, hopefully we see him on the start line getting involved, picking up more points. And yeah, we've got just a very, very strong field.
It's going to be class.
Right the way down.
Live commentary from the Boyo.
Yes.
What's the setup?
Oh, sorry, Joseph Cornelli as well to give a shout out.
Oh,
also won at Nantwich. He's also entered as well. So he's sitting on 25 points. It's another of our athletes who are potentially going to be picking up more points.
Yeah.
Got Alex Brown's back as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's getting on. Haven't seen him race in a while. Has he been back racing? I know he has.
Bits, but he's just finished doing teacher training. His first year
on his holidays. He actually messaged me the other day.
On his holidays, yeah.
So he's free now. So I think we'd like to think he'll get a bit more recovery now and might be in a better place when he's towards the line this time than where he has been.
It is tough that first year, especially.
Well, you'll know a lot about that, won't you, Pazzi? Because you were once a man behind the desk.
Yeah.
Tough times.
Strings to bow. Beanox bow.
Beanox to bow. Big name on campus at school. Now he's a big name on campus.
What's our setup on the evening? Are
you hiring out the camper van this time and not down by the quayside?
Well, I think just to keep it safe, we'll just stick with what we know, but we'll see.
What about, right, if we get a setup going, Mike can bring down all the camera and all the mics and get Alex to as well, down by the riverside, down, one of the bars you said you set up. We'll just have it there. Like, you could do it.
You let all the kids in the background go.
We could just sit there having a pint or a coffee.
Pints.
Athlete diet.
Get it done.
You've got races for the rest of the season. No, we'll look into it because it would be great be great to be closer to the action. We'll just see a
little umbrella hat or something like that sat down there.
Tell you what.
You'd be bright red, you.
It'd be dangerous.
He'll be involved in the pub brawls.
You need factor 100 on, otherwise you'd be looking like a beetroot after 5
Exactly,
minutes.
yeah, and you should look after your skin, Cameron Boyack.
I mean, I put factor 50 on every time I run nowadays.
Good. It's about time you started learning some valuable life lessons, mister.
It's educational, this podcast as well, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Look after your skin.
So, yeah, fantastic fields lined up. And I think tactically wise in the men's, if they're interested in the prize money, it's going to be hard from the start. And then that second and third group, I think you're going to see groups forming and people sitting in and trying to...
It's going to be competitive.
Latch on
Should we have
and
a
then
sweep?
get the sprint finish.
Should we have a sweep? Our winners, men's and women's. You go first.
I think just because I've been training with Stacey and I know what great shape she's in, and knowing that she won in April in a good time, I would like to think Stacey could win, but I think gut instinct is Lily Partridge has run super fast this year over 10k, and if she's entering and coming up to the northeast to do it, she means business.
Yeah.
So I think Lily to win a new course record, and hopefully we're paying out big bonuses.
Men's winner.
Men's winner. I mean, again, I can't look past Scott. He's massive supporter of the event last year. Unbelievable to get him back for a second time. As you said, he could opt to go anywhere in the world to race with his CV now. So yeah, it would be great to see another home victory on North East turf for Scott, and I hope he sneaks a little course record, because again that would be a massive payoff. So I'm hoping for 13:43 for Scott for a massive payoff, and let's say 15:12 for Lily, and then we pay off the big bonus then.
There you go.
Jazz,
I'm expecting big things.
I'm actually going to go for Stacey. I just think she knows the course. Chris, you're saying she's in good shape, and I mean 15:51. She ran that podium, wasn't it? So that's like quite a twisty. You have to do lots of bends, whereas Quayside, you literally just go out, one tiny turn and you're back. So I think I'm going to go Stacey for the women. And for the men, I am just going to say Scott as well. I just think he's been performing really, really well. And I mean, his record that he ran last year, that was a whole year ago. And I like to think he's like come up into like streets since then. So I just think he's going to smash out of the park.
Oh, me next, is it?
Go on, boy.
I'm gonna go with what Jazz just said.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Copycat.
Yeah, need to get mine of my own. I just
puppet.
I think Stacey's in good form, and do I think it'll be won in 15-15ish? I don't think so this time. I don't know. I have a feeling it'll be similar sort of time to what her PB is, and I think she'll go quicker than her personal best if she's pushed. And I think if it comes to a sprint finish, she's rapid. But I know Liddy's in good shape. She's got a great coach, same as me, Alan Story. He doesn't tell people to race unless he thinks they're ready. So I think it'll be a good battle. But Stacey's definitely the highlight, I'd say. But for me, I think men's stand out with the men. It's Beatty, isn't it? Man's in form. 3:39.15, 7:42 3K, 13:19 5K. I mean, and we'd love to see what he could do over 10K and half marathon even now.
Yeah.
But I think he's in form. And I think you're going to have to be running something pretty special. I spoke to my British champs. He came fourth there. He was still nursing it, coming off the back of nursing a hamstring niggle. And he said it was pretty much cleared up now, which is why this half of the season, we're starting to see him push on his form massively. And I think he's 13:19. I think he's worth quicker than that. So I think definitely could do a course record if he wants to push it from the front.
Yeah.
But Ben Connor's in it, and an informed Ben Connor, I think I probably would have I wouldn't have been able to choose between the two of them, because he's an animal and he doesn't hang about. It would be hard from the start, and I would not be surprised if Ben goes off hard.
Which would be great for Scott.
That's what you want.
That's why he ran so fast last year.
You know, I think Ben, he ran 13:19. It would have been pre-2019 probably, or 2019ish. That's like pre-spikes, and to do 13:19 back then was, pretty special.
We might get other people in the mix as well in between now and then. So
there
fingers
we
crossed
go.
it could be
Could change our minds.
Even more
Watch
stacked.
out.
Red, who we're going for?
I've got now else for you than what these two said.
Are you agreeing with us?
Yeah,
both
100%.
sides?
Yeah, both sides. I think the times. I reckon Stacey for the win in 15:43ish, around about there, and reckon Scott Beatty for the win as well. I don't want to put a time on. Like, it's hard to put a time.
Yeah, it's
on
hard
that
to replicate that from last year because it was so good.
Yeah, and I think
to
the
get
stars
complacent.
aligned a little bit as well with how it was ran. We don't know what type of shape Ben Connor's going to be in, how he's going to attack the race. So, and other entrants in between now and then. So for the wins, I'm going Stacey Smith and Scott Beatty, and I reckon Stacey around that low 15:40 mark. But for the men's, I don't think I can give a real solid idea on what kind of time. But the only way to find out is
for the last kilometre. I think there'll be a good 3 or 4 people that had a quick pace.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's sub 13:45 pace or not, it's hard to tell till the day, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Depends on the conditions.
Well, I guess we'll find out. So tune in next Wednesday, the 7th of August. Well, it might not be next Wednesday by the time you see this, but Wednesday the 7th of August, 6:30 for the first race, and then 7 for the top flight race, 7:30 for the B race. And before we go, just want to say a massive thank you to Jasmine for everything that she's contributed to the show. So she's now
Where's
off.
my flowers?
Yeah, now off to they're in the post. We've sent them transatlantic. So Jasmine's off to America. So
I'm going to miss it. Well, we're in the red, white and blue already.
She'll be back at Christmas, though.
I'll be back for Christmas.
So she can be a special guest.
You need like
exactly.
a little
Back.
picture of my face on a pillow
River
and
Valley
you can put
show.
it here.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
absolutely.
Yeah, so best of luck, and we will be following your form while you're away.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. So thank you, Cameron, and thanks, Rich, again.
Not a problem. It's been a pleasure as always, Beanock.
Always. So
We're going to live that down now.
from Beanock, goodbye.